You are what you wear, from the feet to the hair. And this is especially true for our PBA superstars. Well, for most superstar athletes in general. For decades now, our hardcore idols have also become fashion icons. And in this episode, we explore the fascinating link between basketball and fashion. Join me, Lourd de Veyra, as we rummage through the closets of the then and now here on Basketball Almanac.
Jaworski bleeding from the mouth. Well, since there's a dead ball situation, now they can call for a 30-second injury timeout.
Keeping it tight. According to the Urban Slang Dictionary, it means not being sloppy, not being loose. It means being fit in terms of body and clothes. But in the 70s, they probably meant it literally. When they say shorts, they really mean shorts. Style, a designer once said, is a way to say who you are without having to speak. So to use the words of style icon Coco Chanel, they are not into fashion. Our hardcore stars are fashion.
Alam mo, ang basketball player, dahil mga gwapo at nice physical specimen sila, lahat naman sila gwapo pagka nagbihis yung mga yan eh.
Yung ibang athletes kahit anong paggawa mo sa kanila, basta't sigurado sila na yung kanilang figura kita sa uniform, okay na yon. And they feel good even if the performance is not so good, for as long as they feel good, okay na sa kanila yon. I'm not saying that they settle for that, but that's an additional encouragement, motivation for them.
On the court, the best way to appreciate your sense of style is not with a suit and a tie, but in sweat-drenched jerseys. This, after all, is basketball's most identifiable fashion accessory, which has undergone numerous evolutions through the decades. It all began in the 1920s, when shorts seemed to cling to the crotch like a one-piece swimsuit. Think Adam West-era Batman. 2 decades later, jersey makers dropped the wool fabric from the polyester and nylon materials to give athletes more freedom of movement. Later on, the iconic jersey was matched with a pair of satin briefs, replacing the mid-length shorts of the late 60s. But the jersey revolution did not stop there. According to experts, wearing knee-high shorts has its advantages. It is lighter and doesn't constrict mobility. Just look at how the basketball legends of the 70s and the 80s fluidly hop and stop or slide and glide with their lean frames pressed against those body-hugging outfits.
Before that, shorts yan. Tapos yung pinaka-magaang, pinaka-least confining, loose siya kasi freedom of movement. Pagka gumalaw ka, dapat hindi siya sagabal.
Fabled import and coach Norman Black recalled how these tight-fitting shorts were dubbed hot pants by lady fans, which augured well for teams because, well, they spent less on uniforms. A decade later, everything loosened up, literally. The guy to blame for all this loosening up? His airiness, Michael Jordan. The greatest of them all inspired a major makeover when he asked for a longer and baggier cut of shorts. He also wanted the shorts dropped below his knees so that he can hang onto them when he bends over to get a breather. Pop culture expert Professor Vim Nadera believes this uniform phenomenon was not just a simple fashion statement. It was a reflection of the prevailing hip-hop culture of the time.
NBA, nung panahon ng unang dekada ng bagong millennium, ay itong kasagsagan talaga ng hip-hop. At sa pag hip-hop, di ba, makikita mo sino ba mga umuso dyan. Eh di yung mga rappers. At yung merong tinatawag na gangsta rapper. At ito yung talagang, hindi lang basta ang binabanggit nila tinatawag na dirty lyrics, kundi kung ano yung sinasabi nila, sinasabuhay nila Papasok naman ng Allen Iverson. Makikita mo yung impluensyang malakas ng hip-hop. Siya tinatawag siyang basketball icon ng hip-hop generation. At makikita nyo, suot-suot din niya yung jersey niya. Pagkatapos ng laro, suot-suot yung baggy pants at saka yung basketball shoes.
But the loose shorts also has their downside according to sports scientist Hercalianta.
May mga instances na dahil sa loose yung jersey o yung shorts, sumabit sa kamay o sa finger ng isang opposing player at na-dislocate yung finger. So may mga ganong instances din. Kaya it cannot be too loose. Neither should it be hindering. So hindi dapat siya masikip. Kasi pag masikip na, ang hirap namang gumalaw. May mga sports na kailangan masikip siya because it needs support.
For Calianta, a uniform's functionality lies not in its cut or design, but in the construction of its fabric.
Pagka gumamit ka ng ordinaryong fabric like cotton, kukunin ng cotton yung sweat, tapos dadalhin lang niya, iipon lang niya. Bukod dun sa mabigat, meron ding risk of skin irritations. Kaya ang fabric ng mga athletic uniform, tinatanggal yung sweat mula dun sa skin, tapos dadalhin niya sa labas para mag-evaporate. Yung skin naman, dry siya. Kaya tuloy, ang nangyayari, hindi masyadong mahirap, at saka yung skin hindi nagbe-break up dahil sa masyadong basa.
Undergarments like compression shirts, sleeves, tights, and socks usually do the trick, keeping players warm as they sweat it out on the floor.
It provides proprioception. Parang in layman's term, bibigyan ng feeling ng bawat galaw mo, alam mo. In fact, most of the time, yung galaw natin is instinctive, of course, pagdating sa sports, lalo ng mga athletes. So there are instances na sa ating movement, pag galaw natin, muscles supporting the joints, relax. So ang nagdadala lang ng stability ng joint ay yung ligaments at saka yung joint sac. Pagka natamaan ka at that time, kasi huli yung pag-activate ng muscle, there is a possibility of a sprain or a joint injury. Pag meron kang proprioceptive, parang you're aware always of where your movements are and what your movements are.
So there's actually function to the form. These additional suits actually help players achieve the ultimate range of motion without fearing a possible muscle strain or injury. Billy Ray Bates, one of the most prolific imports in PBA history, was the first and only foreign reinforcement to have a line of signature shoes with his moniker. Local shoe company Grosby released the Black Superman shortly after Bates joined the PBA in 1983. It had its name and face emblazoned on the shoe's leather black exterior. These legendary kicks would later resurface in 2011 with the Black Superman 2 Special Edition as a tribute to Bates' induction to the PBA Hall of Fame. The 90s saw things move from keeping it tight to hanging loose. Players' fashions got more relaxed. But at the same time, the players' shoes, socks, and even hairstyles became more edgier and more flashy. And basketball icons, especially those in the NBA, became even greater multi-million-dollar trendsetters. Basketball sneakers are like cultural weather vanes. Every evolution is a pop culture story. Sneakers are embodiments of a generation's technology and aesthetic as well as attitudinal sense. But in the 60s, before they became the unofficial footwear of punk skaters and the whole gamut of young hipsters, the Converse Chuck Taylor All-Star, a simple engineering of canvas and rubber, was the de rigueur shoes on the hardcourt.
lahat ng basketball players, tignan mo yung mga lumang pictures na wala namang Adidas o Nike noon. Chuck Taylor ng Converse was the only shoes na available. Meron mga cheap reproductions sa Philippines, pero pagka naka-arrive ka na sa Rizal Memorial, Chuck Taylor talaga ang sinusuot mo.
Ageless big man Asi Taolava even tried making a fashion statement by wearing old-school Chucks in a PBA game in 2014.
I just wanted to go a little bit throwback, old school time, and that's what I reached back in one of my bags, found my I bought a pair of Chuck Taylors. I wore them to the game. I was just supposed to warm up in them, but Coach Jolas started making fun of me, daring me. You're not going to wear them. You're not going to wear the Chucks, and that's when I decided to play with them on. And it felt great. It felt like I was back in high school, middle school, when I used to play in them.
Moves into Limang Bang.
But through the decades, as game dynamics and fashion sensibilities change, the basketball sneaker would pass through a great number of engineering and design evolutions. In the Philippines, just before the deluge of Nikes and Adidases, it was Grosby and KP. KP was the first homegrown brand to become the official shoes of the PBA, endorsed by some of the league's stellar names like El Presidente Ramon Fernandez and the captain Alvin Patrimonio. The earlier Grosby, on the other hand, signed up the Black Superman Billy Ray Bates as their brand ambassador. And because yachting tape was not yet a thing before, high-cut shoes became a necessity, primarily for ankle support. Yet as the game evolved, these kicks followed suit, combining technology and comfort to maximize a player's athletic skills.
May mga researches ngayon na sinasabi na kung high cut at saka mid cut at saka low cut, mas maganda nga yung injury profile ng mga players na nagsusuot ng low cut. Hindi sila madalas ma-injure. Kasi yung kanilang sense of security is with them. Ang ibig sabihin, they play with awareness. Pero pagka high cut at saka mid cut, akala nila they're immune to sprains. Pero hindi totoo yun. It is still within the body.
Most tech-driven kicks enhance a player's athletic abilities. There's one to optimize speed and mobility, and there's one to cushion impact from constant jumping and running. Each differ in the material and type of padding, support, durability, and design. All these, however, doesn't come cheap. But for Asi, it doesn't matter whether you're wearing a pair of Jordans or Chucks.
But it's just like wearing Chanellas, where you can feel everything you're walking on. It's light, really comfortable, not as much cushion, very convenient. You just slip them on, laced them up, and went out and played. I actually enjoyed the game that night just because I was playing in them.
Did you know that in its early years, the PBA actually had an official uniform maker, Allendale Sportswear, which used to tailor the jerseys of the league's teams from the late 1970s to the 80s, started with a 170 peso capital as a shorts apparel shop in San Mateo, Rizal. But its owner, Mel Baro Sasot, expanded its operations and moved to Recto Avenue after securing a breakthrough contract from the PBA. Today, the Allendale Sports line can be found near Nepomuceno and Arlegui Streets in Manila. The owner, Mel Baro Sasot, by the way, is the mother of pro Duterte blogger Alan Troy Sasrogando Sasot. According to PBA historian Jay Mercado, the first player in the league to wear 3 numbers on his jersey was the import Bruce Sky King. The Toyota reinforcement donned the number 111 jersey in the 1979 season. He initially wore number 11 but had to change this after rookie Arnie Tuadles joined the team and carried the same jersey number. There's also another thing on the hardcourt that has evolved relentlessly: the hair. From its cut, color, and length, name it, we've seen them all. In the PBA, there's one timeless trend: growing your hair long. Some of them sported with a headband, styling it with a man bun, braids. Others, on the other hand, are of the extreme opposite. They want it all shaved.
I think ang pinaka-statement ng players ngayon more than uniform, kasi ang uniform pare-pare is buhok eh. Ako matanda na, siguro hindi ako pa masanay doon sa may bun sa kasi Gusto nila mahaba ang buhok nila. Parang umiikot ang mundo. Noong 70s, ganun din, mahaba ang buhok ng mga player. Pero hindi kinakabitan ng ganun. Pinababayaan lang tumulong pawis nun eh. Ngayon, kinakabitan ng man bun na tinatawag. Pahaba ng buhok, Terence Romeo, Alex Malyari, Alex Cabagnot, marami sa kanila ang merong ganun. Yung iba, beard naman ang gusto. Stanley Pringle. Palagay ko yung fans, maraming gusto, yung pa rin ang gusto eh.
Some players go the extra mile, wearing unique hair shades like Terence Romeo's blonde spike cut and Arnold Van Opsel's Jack Frost look. But guys like Blackwater Elite's Oji Minon is on a league of his own, racing a lizard mohawk on his dotted pate.
Basketball, a game of wits and tactics. But there are guys in the sidelines who take this thing rather seriously and dress up like they're ready to do battle in the corporate boardroom.
Of course, coaches also have their own fashion sense. One of them is Ginebra coach Tim Cohn, who set the tone for wearing sleeve shirts and ties while drawing X's and O's on the sidelines.
Actually, Alaska, nagpaumpisa niyan na nakakurbata. Sabi ko, wow, nakagwapo. Parang pupunta sa opisina itong mga to. Pero knowing Mr. Wilfred Steven Uytensu, napakalinis na lalaki niyan. Napaka-maayos, walang bisyo yan. So I'm not surprised nung nauso yan. Nagaya ng ibang teams yan, ng Pure Foods franchise o ng Magnolia. Then other teams nagkaroon na ng mga uniforms. Maganda naman tingnan, bakit hindi, no?
Others claim this boardroom look as Cohn's lucky charm to becoming the most successful PBA coach. But if that's the case, then the league's winningest bench tactician is in good company, with other big-time players sharing the same belief. Like San Miguel star forward Arwin Santos. The lanky hotshot always wears something green in all his games for good luck. He must be an Irishman in a previous life. And it seems to be currently paying off for Santos and the multi-title beerman.
Pinaka-interesting ngayon si Arwin Santos. Ang daming patuloy na kinakabit kung ano eh. Sabi nga ng ibang coaches, ang hirap naman mag-basketball ngayon, ang daming kinakabit. Si Arwin, kulay early warning device eh, no? Neon lights, dito. Siguro nakakatulong sa kanya para umakit sa ring ang kanyang pagiging Spider-Man.
But some young players' fashion habits in and out of the court do not sit well with their predecessors, like Crispa legend Atoy Ko. In a testimonial for the First 25 Coffee Table book, Ko lamented how players would underdress, wearing shorts and slippers on the way to the gym, unlike his contemporaries who are all dappered well before and after the game, projecting a more professional vibe. In the NBA, the pre- and post-game dress codes are strictly enforced. The PBA, though, is catching up, strictly enforcing its policies on uniform.
There's this one particular game last conference, global player nila is Sean Anthony. I know it's an honest mistake, but still, because of what happened, we made a rule out of it. He wore a wrong shorts, okay? Though it's black, during that time, dark-colored team sila, black, pero yung design ng neon nila was different. So later on, we discovered na it was the ball boy who made the mistake of giving the shorts.
The league is also stern when it comes to sanctioning players violating the dress code.
Players are being caught dun sa likod ng goal. Every time they watch na naka-short sila, they're being fined for 1,000 pesos. Kasi ang dress code natin, they should be wearing long pants. They should be wearing a shirt na mayroong logo ng team nila. Or if not, at least man lang colored shirt. So pagdating dun sa arena, we're strict on that. Imports, locals. Sa shoes, we don't allow yung obviously different pair of shoes na isusuot. Although there are a lot of designs right now na magkaiba sila, pero sila yung magkapares. So we allow that, obviously. Fashion, no? Pero yung sa socks natin, at least 1 inch yung above ankle area natin. And then, yung sa shorts naman natin, at least yung haba nung shorts natin, in the middle ng kneecap.
Undergarments, believe it or not, are also included in the rule. For example, the collar must be similar to the game jersey and should match those worn by the team. And guys, they're not kidding. The violators do get fined. First offense is 1,000 pesos, second offense 2,000 pesos, and so on. All these just for wearing the wrong pair of undies.
The evolution of fashion is always a mirror of what is happening at a given time in a society, a reflection of a particular milieu. And of course, all these are reflected on the basketball court. But one thing is certain. In terms of fashion, there is no dressing down for the players' passion for the game. And for the players, whatever they wear, they always do so with a touch of flair. I am Lourd de Veyra, and this has been your Basketball Almanac.